Hey nerds, it's Sunday, September 22nd, the 39th week of 2024, and I'm running down what's coming up this week, starting now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I'm Nathan. As always, if you want to jump ahead of the intro to see what's coming up on any day of the week, there are chapter links below. All right, let's get started. Today, Sunday, the 22nd, we have Snowpiercer episode 10, Last Stop is the series finale. Description here is Nema heads for Snowpiercer. Layton and the tailies fight their way up trains when Ruth is captured. Nema tries to cut a deal and runs to the rocket control room to initiate the launch sequence. Industry, episode 7 of season Useful Idiot. When disaster strikes during Pierpoint's 150th anniversary celebration, Eric is summoned to the executive boardroom while Rishi, Sweet Pea, and Anraj try to save their own skins on the trading floor. Across town, Harper's risky moves jeopardize Leviathan Alpha, while Yasmin escapes on a road trip with Robert. Ridley, Season 2, Episode 2, The Sleeping Tiger Part 2. Ridley and Carol are close to cracking the murder of a local man. Their leads unveil connections to a stud farm, a drug dealer, and a wealthy businessman. The missing piece is held by an unlikely person with a closely guarded secret. Moonflower Murders, Episode 2. Susan meets Cecily's sister and husband at the Treehorn Hotel and learns more about the hotel's former employee found guilty of murder. In Conway's novel, Pund investigates Melissa James' murder and learns about possible suspects. We have the series premiere of Matlock tonight as well. After achieving success in her younger years, brilliant septuagenarian Madeline Matlock uses her unassuming demeanor to make her way into a position at a prestigious law firm. Jacobson Moore. This is going to be on CBS and also Paramount Plus, starring Kathy Bates. MGM Plus has From, Season 3, Episode 1. This show in general unraveled the mystery of a city in the middle of the USA that imprisons everyone who enters. As the residents struggle to maintain a sense of normality and seek a way out, they must also survive the threats of the surrounding forest. So Season 3, Episode 1, description is Boyd feels the town slipping away from him as the weather grows colder and the residents more desperate. On Monday the 23rd, we have Futurama Episode 9 of Season 12, the Futurama mystery, Liberry. The description is Futurama is reimagined in a form of a classic children's mystery book. We have the series premiere of Brilliant Minds, follows a revolutionary neurologist, Dr. Oliver Wolf, and his team of interns as they explore the last great frontier, the human mind, also struggling with their own relationship and mental health. So Hollywood reporter Lee Linker reported a couple days ago that the main character is actually inspired by Dr. Oliver Sacks, and if you're an NPR fan, you probably have heard of him in various shows. A renowned British neurologist and writer born in 1933 to a London Jewish family. Both of his parents were doctors. His mother was one of the first female surgeons in England. Zachary Quinto plays Oliver Wolf in the series, and like Sacks, the character is gay, though Sacks didn't come out publicly until later in his life. Sacks' middle name was Wolf, which is why the last name of Quinto's character is Wolf, which is also the working title of the show at first. On Tuesday, we have a new episode of Only Murders in the Building. This is episode 5 of season 4. The title is Adaptation. The trio face off against a collection of individuals who deceive, manipulate, and threaten as second nature, a Hollywood cast and crew. As usual, we'll have a spoiler-free review and a breakdown up for this. You can check out the playlists for our previous coverage up there. We also have on Tuesday the second episode of High Potential. I missed this last week. High Potential follows Morgan, a single mom of 3 kids, and how, thanks to her exceptional mind, she is able to help to solve a crime as she rearranges evidence during her shift as a cleaner for the police department. So episode 2 is entitled Dancers in the Dark. As Morgan and the detectives adjust to her new role as a consultant, they investigate the attempted murder of a tap dancer and discover things are not quite as they seem. Meanwhile, as Ava learns more about her father and Morgan surprises her kids. On Tuesday, we also have Ellen DeGeneres For Your Approval. Will be Ellen DeGeneres' final stand-up comedy. She looks very angry that we're angry with her in that picture there. Also coming out on Tuesday on VOD for digital sale, Beezel. Over 6 tumultuous decades, 3 unwitting guests of a cursed New England home stumble upon a sinister secret dwelling beneath its floors, an eternal witch with an insatiable thirst for the souls of the living. Coming up on spooky season, so a lot of Halloween things are coming out. Hayride to Hell, a small-town farmer exacts his bloody revenge on unscrupulous town folk who try to steal his land. Also in VOD digital sale. Mountains, a Haitian demolition worker is faced with the realities of redevelopment as he is tasked with dismantling his rapidly gentrifying neighborhood. This is on digital sale on VOD as well. This debuted last month, August 16th in Miami and August 23rd in New York. Succubus, a young father going through a marital separation joins a dating app and matches with a beautiful but mysterious woman whose powers of seduction and manipulation entangle him in a mystery more horrifying than he could have ever imagined. This is VOD but also DVD, day and date. Tenants follows one woman's desperate search for her sister as she navigates a nightmare-filled apartment complex where every tenant has a story and none, and, well, winner of 2 awards at the LA Crime and Horror Film Festival. Tenants is a 7-episode horror anthology that'll keep you up at night. VOD. On Wednesday, we have a new episode of Agatha All Along. This will debut at 9 p.m. on Disney+. Episode 3, Through Many Miles of Tricks and Trials. You don't have the spoiler-free logline for this. I did a spoiler-free review of the first 4 episodes because that was what was released to press. There is a link above if you want to check that out. I've seen this episode. It's a pretty good episode, as I mentioned in my review. And Colin will be covering this show, doing actual recaps. So he should be dropping a recap of episode 1 and 2 soon, and he'll cover episode 3 as well. Also on Wednesday, The Ark, season 2, episode 11. It will be over soon. Strickland is presented with an impossible choice. Women in Blue, season 1, episode 10, Valentina. Don't have a description of this episode yet, but this is the penultimate episode in the season. Bad Monkey, episode 8, The Russian mob is very active in Key West, is the title of the episode. With Caitlin and Rose's help, Yanti cooks up a new plan to get Nick and Eve back to Miami. Slow Horses, episode 4 of season 4, entitled Returns. Taverner is desperate to hide dangerous secrets. River seeks answers at his grandfather's house. Premiere of Grotesque, a detective and a nun investigate a series of heinous crimes that seem personal while grappling with personal issues and uncovering a sinister web that raises more questions than answers. So they're dropping 2 episodes of this show, this FX show that'll be on Hulu as well. First episode's description is a gruesome crime rattles a small town community, and the second episode's description is Lois accepts the help of a nun to investigate the recent crimes. Also on Wednesday, Inside Out 2, the sequel features entering puberty and experiencing brand new, more complex emotions as a result. As Riley tries to adapt to her teenage years, her emotions try to adapt to the possibility of being replaced. This will be on Disney Plus on Wednesday. Thursday, we have a new episode of Rings of Power, season 2, episode 7. We, as I mentioned, have press screeners for this, so we try to do our breakdowns. We're actually behind on our breakdown from last week, but we'll try to post our breakdown for episode 7 early in the morning on Thursday. Paulo and I do the breakdowns for that every week. So I'm noting Penguin right here so people aren't confused. Penguin, it came out last week on Thursday, but it will not be on Thursday this week. It will be on Sunday, the 29th. The second episode will be on Sunday, the 29th. And we get advanced copies of this as well every week. We'll probably get a copy probably on Thursday, and then we'll have a review up on Sunday evening at 10 o'clock after the episode is finished. Reasonable Doubt, episode 8 of season 2, Venus versus Mars. Jax and Lewis are at an impasse while things get heated at the office with Corey. The prosecution rests on Chanel's case. Nobody Wants This. This is a Netflix series dropping on Thursday. Follows the unexpected relationship between a rogue rabbi and a irascible, loud, agnostic woman, originally titled Shishka. It stars Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. Killer Heat, this is a Prime Video movie, follows twin brothers who find themselves in a dangerous love triangle on an isolated Greek island. The investigation is given to the Jealousy Man, a wounded detective. Stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Shailene Woodley, who previously co-starred in Snowden. On Friday, we have the 6th episode of Pachinko. Don't have a description for this yet either, but it'll be entitled Chapter 14. How to Die Alone, the season finale of season 1 will be on Friday. They'll drop episodes 7 and 8. I still haven't gotten around to dropping a review of the season yet, but I will before this episode comes out. I really like this show. You definitely should check it out. They've dropped episodes 1 through 5 already. So, episode 7's Kill Your Darlings. Mel hopes to ring in the new year by winning Alex back. Episode 8 is entitled Get Lost. Mel's world opens up as she takes her first flight. Also on Friday, the Great British Baking Show. Bakers attempt 3 challenges each week, trying to impress the judges enough to go through to the next round and eventually are crowned Britain's best amateur baker. So this is series 15 coming up on Netflix. It's called Collection 12. So the first episode will be on Friday. On Friday, we also have the series premiere of Voices America Historia, the untold history of Latinos. Join actor John Leguizamo on a quest to uncover Latino and Latina heroes and their contributions. In this new 3-part series, John takes viewers on a captivating journey delving into both well-known and lesser-known stories of Latino history spanning thousands of years from the ancient empires to the present and shining a light on the rich and often overlooked history of Latinos. Episode 1 is entitled Echoes of an Empire. The description is the rise and legacy of the great empires and civilizations of Mexico, South America, and the Caribbean, from the Tiano to the Inca, Maya, Aztec, and more. Also on Friday, we have the 37th Hispanic Heritage Awards on PBS as well. This will be a 1-hour special. The 37th Annual Hispanic Heritage Awards, or the HHAs, was held at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, Opera House on Thursday, September 5th, 2024. The HHAs, supported by 40 national Hispanic serving institutions, were established by the White House in 1988 to commemorate the creation of Hispanic Heritage Month in America, which is why they are often known as America's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. The ceremony will air on Friday, September 27th at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central on PBS, and will be available on pbs.org and the PBS video app during Hispanic Heritage Month. On VOD, on Friday, we have Mother Nocturna tracks a mentally fragile doctor as she attempts to reconnect with her family while resisting calls from the moon. Like I said, spooky season, more horror stuff. Wolves, 2 professional fixers, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, who prefer to work alone, find themselves forced to work together after being hired for the same job. I think I mentioned that I was going to try to see this last week. I actually did see this last Tuesday. I just didn't get around to reviewing it yet, but I will review it before it hits Apple TV Plus on Friday. Will and Harper, this intimate portrayal of friendship transition in America. Will Ferrell and his close friend of 30 years decide to go on a cross-country road trip to explore their relationship. Resball, in heart of Chusca, New Mexico, the Chusca Warriors, a high school basketball team rich in Native American heritage, face their greatest challenge. After they lose their star player, the team must unite like never before to keep their dreams of a state championship alive. It's also on Netflix. On Paramount Plus, we have another movie called Apartment 7A. A struggling dancer finds herself drawn into dark forces by a peculiar couple promising her fame. In this prequel to the classic horror movie Rosemary's Baby from 1968. Set in 1965 New York, the story explains what happened in Apartment 7A before Rosemary from the classic horror film. I got a copy of this actually a few weeks ago, but I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. I will try to watch it before Friday and also post a review. In theaters, we have Bagman. In a dark horror film, Bagman, a family finds themselves in a nightmare as they are hunted by a malevolent mystical creature. For centuries and across cultures, parents have warned their children of the legendary Bagman, who snatches innocent children and stuffs them into his vile, rotting bag, never to be seen again. Patrick McKee narrowly escaped such an encounter as a boy, which left him with a lasting scar throughout his adulthood. Now Patrick's childhood tormentor has returned, threatening the safety of his wife and son, Jake. Also on wide release on Friday is Lee, the story of American photographer Lee Miller, a fashion model who became an acclaimed war correspondent for Vogue magazine during World War II, based on the lives of Lee Miller, the only authorized biography of Lee Miller's life written by her own son, Anthony Penrose, and published in 1985. The production was granted full access to Lee Miller's archives with full cooperation and trust from the Miller's family. Kate Winslet stars and Ellen Kuras directs. Previously, Winslet worked with Ellen on Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind and A Little Chaos, where Kuras served as cinematographer. Metropolis. The city of New Rome is the main conflict between Caesar Tilia, a brilliant artist in favor of a utopian future, and the greedy mayor, Franklin Cicero. Between them is Julia Cicero, her loyalty divided between her father and her beloved. So Francis Ford Coppola wrote this script in early 1980s, around the time I was born, basically. But the film was kept on the back burner partially due to his financial debts. Pre-production finally began in 2001 after filming 30 hours of second unit footage and holding table reads with Paul Newman, Uma Thurman, Robert De Niro, James Gandolfini, Nicolas Cage, Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe, Edie Falco, and Kevin Spacey. However, the project was scrapped after the September 11th attack, since a scene from the script predicted the attacks. Coppola fully abandoned the project in 2007 and didn't begin developing it again until 2019. In the beginning of 2022, Zendaya, Cate Blanchett, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Caan, and Jessica Lange were announced as starring in the lead roles. They all dropped out eventually and later were replaced by Natalie Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Grace VanderWaal, James Remmer, and Catherine Hunter. Before Adam Driver was cast, Francis Ford Coppola was interested in Christian Bale for the lead. So, with all of that, whatever Coppola comes up with should be interesting, even if it's not a good movie. I will try to see this, but getting screenings for Lionsgate's films has been kind of hit or miss for us. We'll see what we can do. The Wild Robot. After a shipwreck, an intelligent robot called Roz is stranded on an uninhabited island. To survive the harsh environment, Roz bonds with the island's animals and cares for an orphan baby goose. Lupita Nyong'o and Pedro Pascal star. In more limited release, we have Amber Alert. Rideshare turns into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse after it follows a car fitting the description of an Amber Alert. This is a remake of the 2012 film of the same name by the same writers and director. This stars Hayden Panettiere and Tyler James Williams. Azrael, in a world where no one speaks, a devout female-led community hunts down a young woman who has escaped imprisonment. Recaptured, Azrael is due to be sacrificed to an ancient evil in the wilderness, but fights for her own survival. We have the Bollywood film Devara Part 1, an epic action saga set against coastal lands which brief about rip-roaring, emotionally charged incidents in a periodic timeline. Also comprises the titular protagonist being the rescuer to the deprived and fear evildoers. That description made a little bit of sense. I'm assuming it was translated from Hindi instead of written originally in English. Next is Notice to Quit. Andy Singer, an out-of-work actor, now struggling as a New York City realtor, finds his world crashing down around him when his estranged 10-year-old daughter, Anna, shows up unannounced on his doorstep in the middle of his eviction. Saturday night, at 11:30 p.m. on October 11th, 1975, a ferocious group of young comedians and writers changed television forever. Find out what happened behind the scenes in the 90 minutes leading up to the first broadcast of Saturday Night Live. Sleep. A pregnant wife who becomes worried about her husband's sleeping habits. What starts out as some light sleep talking soon escalates to unexpectedly grotesque behavior. They consult a sleep clinic without success, and as his nightmarish behavior escalates, they desperately seek help from a shaman. This was the final film role of Lee Sun-kwon before his passing in December of 2023. Finally, we have The Universal Theory. The year of 1962. A physics congress in the Alps, an Iranian guest, a mysterious pianist, a bizarre cloud formation in the sky, and a booming mystery under the mountain. The Theory of Everything, a quantum mechanical thriller in black and white. So that's it for this week. If you want us to cover any of the productions we aren't already covering, comment below, and if we get enough requests, we'll try to work them into our production schedule. And if you found this video useful, be sure to like and share and subscribe to make sure you don't miss our next update, our analysis, reviews, or news coverage. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.